Hello all. So yes, it's been a time since I've done a overview of what is going on in my life, and it's summer and it's quiet, and I'm watching a little bit of history videos and also a lot of spiritual videos. So lately it's been a little bit about Egypt and the Chamber of Osiris, and also speculating about the history we have been learned. So for me it's obvious that there has been things removed from our history which we are not allowed to know, and also artifacts been removed by different companies, information about humanity and about the coming ages of unity and love, of course. But that's of course is our own theme and field. We are not going to go into that, but it seems that the pyramids were made for between 10 and 11,000 years ago, so of extraterrestrials with quite different perspectives on creation and life, and also about humanity. So, well, that's another story. I just wanted to mention that. So this overview is more about me, which has been creating a poem a couple of months ago and drawn it in. I'm not going to show it now. I'm going to create our own video of the poem, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So it came to me that the paradise, which we humans often speak about, which is in heaven, it's in us ourselves, because we are divine beings. We have the spark of light from God inside of us. We're just forgotten it here. And if we all can find that spark, we can create a paradise here. But of course it has to be with love, it has to be with the heart. It cannot be done with control and manipulation of the others around us and fear. So I've written a poem about paradise and how it came to me, and I will come more into that when I'm going to have it here. Going to make the own video about it. So, and I wanted to say that so I'm watching the Course in Miracles study with Tina Spalding. There's a lot of people doing that, 365 lessons or whatever. So I find the book, I've been reading it for a year, so I find it quite hard to get into on a kind of a religious stem, and but it's of course it's a book about you finding peace and getting out of fear. It seems you're getting out of the fear which we are often creating ourselves together here in this density, it seems. And we are moving more into oneness because the lost information is coming back to us, and we are kind of waking up from the slumber. It seems that we have more freely gotten into this situation to learn something more about ourselves, and it reflects back to, of course, God, which we all are a part of, the light, Big Bang. They call it Big Bang, the scientists, but I think it's only God which spread out into the universe, created this universe, and we are a part of him. Just he's kind of learning about himself in a way, I think. So maybe he also has forgotten it, because it seems that he has created a lot of universes, and the universes seems to be quite infinite in their creation. And also there are galaxies which are big, and our sources. We don't know even our own solar system because of the suppression down here and the manifesting of fear, and also the investment into fear, of the fear movies, of the wars and everything. So we seem like we all created together. It's kind of another lower frequency experience in this universe. But of course you can take other choices and move yourself up the ladder in frequency, because it is important now. There are new times coming. So how everything works out, it's not easy to grab hold of everything, but it seems to be a quantum universe where there are a lot of different timelines and dimensions which you jump between, and everything is kind of created by the choice. But also I think you can, in your dream state, your astral state, can change timelines a little bit to and also forgiveness will also change the timelines if you let go of something and accept it as a part of the experience. But of course I don't think it's, you can see it from a point of if it's fair, not fear, but if it's fair or not, if it's justice. And I kind of, you speculate why people experience some of the negative things which they do, and because it seems to all to be synchronized into something that we all indulge into in a way. So but of course we can also get out of it and create something else. But of course then the ego has to be balanced. There has to be more heart and love. You have to do things for others without getting something back. So I'm doing this because I feel that's my mission here on Earth. I just had forgotten it. I kind of also been manipulated a lot by, I'm not going to dive too deep into that. But it seems I've been manipulated by forces around me. And it seems also that if you are of the light, you can get attracted to, the opposite, to maybe learn something. There's always something to learn, but there's always a free will, and you can take other choices when you feel that you don't want to be a part of that frequency anymore. Especially if it's lower frequencies, which kind of hold you back in your ascension process, because we are all kind of from the light and dive deep, and then we are going to get back into the light, by experiences and learning. And I think that peace and forgiveness is a very important part there. There are, of course, and also things that you yourself have to look at, because sometimes you just kind of, brush the things under the carpet and say, yeah, we are done with that, and kind of, yeah, we are moving on. And then the things come back again later, like you can call it a ghost or a pop-up clown or whatever you want to call it. So, and it seems also that in this universe there are really not wrong or right or a victim in some way. It's just kind of seemed to be agreed upon on another level to have this physical experience. Because I think that this experience is very slow, in the materium, in the frequency, and it's kind of get a more manifested experience. In the other realms there are more like fluently and instant manifesting of things, and here it's like a slow kind of experience, and you can really, it's kind of looking at a movie in slow motion kind of way, where all the feelings and everything, the physical is more intense, you know. Because I think it's in other frequencies like the fourth and the fifth, everything is going much faster, and the kind of do not get the same kind of intense experience like you get here. So of course it can be too intense, you know, for many. So I kind of understand that some get crazy, you know, and kind of feel like they're lost here, because if they are from another frequency, higher frequency, and they come down here, you know, with a mission, and you know, it's not easy. But I feel many are doing their missions, and they are expanding and kind of creating opportunities for others to expand. And often you have to go through things to kind of get the true core of the knowledge and the wisdom in it. And of course you can read yourself up on books, wisdom, you know, he said, she did that, you should do that, and everything will get better, you know, like that in the book. But I think maybe sometimes you have to experience the stuff to understand. Not always. But it seems, of course, if people could listen to people which are of higher frequency, which want this world to be a loving place, we could change it. So, but then we have to begin now. Everybody has to begin with themselves first. So it's not easy. I feel it's a lot of judgment about people talking about these things, you know. I don't think people understand that it's not easy for those which do this to they change the experience themselves, how to go around, and we make these videos about love and light, and then we kind of get stuck back into the lower frequency again, and because we are just normal people, we are also part of the society and the system, you know, so it's not easy doing this, you know. You have to change, you have to do your mission, and at the same time live your life, or at least I feel that it's hard to change myself back to the higher frequencies, because I've been accustomed to many of the lower frequencies. So, but that's and I feel people like what they don't understand, they just judge, and then they kind of go around with a pickaxe kicking each other in the nuts, like. So that's not good, but of course that's maybe what you have volunteered to sometimes. But all in all, this experience, and of course what I'm talking about, it's love, and it's positive, and of course me myself has to go through a lot of things to get this out, and also I am also working on myself. I am not free of the ascension process, you know. I have to look of many of my own fears and anxieties and problems, which have kind of been brushed under the rugs. Now they come up in the new densities and new higher vibrations which come. So I also have to work on myself, and I don't want to go very deep into that. But I was talking about the Course in Miracles. I got kind of sidestepped a little bit. So here's the book, and I've come quite far. I feel it's a lot of repetition, you know, kind of you're trying to nail it into your head that you have to kick yourself a little bit to get out of the lower frequencies and think differently. It seems that we all are a part of God, and we are kind of forgotten. So I feel it's very high density frequency, kind of 6th, 7th, even 8. God is 8, the creator or source, which I call it. So I'm reading and also watch a lot about hypothesis about the creation of the universe. The scientists say that there was the Big Bang, there's a light, the spiritual call it source, God, and then it created, well, something has been bypassed. They say that source created the central sun of the universe. So it seems like there is a central sun, but we can't look quite that far back. But there is a central sun in the universe that they don't teach us in the scientists or in the classroom. But the galaxies and that stuff is the same. The source, or the galactic sun, which is central in all galaxies, they call it the black hole. But that can be misinformation. Maybe that is a black hole which sucks the light to it, so it creates a central sun. Maybe the black hole is a portal. Maybe the black hole is not just something they say to us, because there are a central sun in the galaxy. There are a light inside the galaxy. You can see the light where what it is. Some say it's a portal, and that also the universal portal is a direct link to source again, to God. So no, I'm mixing science with spiritualism, but it seems that they are kind of connected, the quantum universe, quantum physical laws, and it seems just that we humans have been kept away from these things, the spiritual things, to create this kind of experience down here, which is based on fear and war, and some like this experience. So if it can be, you should not judge it because it's a part of creation. So, but it seems like we are ascending. We are new technology, new knowledge, new information. The party is kind of over. Let's move on. Let's be one. Let's be together. Let's create a beautiful earth together with our friends in the universe. They have been waiting for us. They have been looking at us like we kind of study the ants. They have been studying us. So how is this going? And there are some, of course, which have taken advantage of us, and some which has just been there and kind of helped in the background, because it's a free will world. And it seems that there are more and more UFO sightings, more and more things happening. So kind of many awakening up to that there is something more there. They are maybe have connection to the stars, and they are seeing UFOs. They are getting connections with the astral or the spirit world. Their kind of sixth sense is beginning to rise up. Kind of you are seeing things that you've never seen before, and there are more and more people kind of grabbing that spiritual side of themselves. Yes. And there's nothing wrong in that, because we are more than this body. So if you think about it, why does the body function? Because of your soul, because of your thoughts. And when your body dies, it's not over, it's just a glimpse of the infinity which you are. So that was the Course in Miracles, and me babbling away about, kind of got a little bit all over the place there, but it's okay. It's a overview, a resume. And I bought this book a couple of months ago, The Forgotten Promise by Cheryl Wilde. Yes, it's about a UFO experience, and it's also a lot of talking about creation and the oneness, and they are fourth, fifth density, and have the suppressed technology, which we don't get access to because of the, yeah, I'm not going to go into that either because it's our own field. So it basically comes down to forgiving, you know, what has been done, because for maybe 60, 70 years ago they didn't really know what was happening and didn't understand it, so it kind of went black, and it seems like someone wanted to have this information for themselves, so they kept it away from the ordinary people, saying that they didn't manage to handle it or couldn't take the truth, and that's a kind of bullshit, you know, because I think if everybody had known the truth now for 60, 70 years ago, it would have been a completely different world, and it wouldn't be this chaos which is now. So there seems to be some which kind of like the chaos side, but I'm not judging, I'm just seeing it from my point of view. So I'm not going to interfere in what other likes or do not like. It is just a part of all that is, and we couldn't have this experience if it wasn't like that. But of course there comes a time when it's time to move on, and even those which are lower frequency can change to the higher frequency, because in the end that's where they're from. They're from the light too, they just have forgotten it by too many maybe low frequencies, or just maybe they've been wanting those experiences. So there are of course many ways to see this. It's important to see it without judgment though. So, but of course standing in your truth, in your love, because all have a loving side. There's always a glimpse of light inside the dark, and you can turn it around too. There's always a little glimpse of the darkness inside the light. It's all part of all that is, at least in this universe. But we are moving on, we should move on, we shouldn't destroy our planet, we shouldn't destroy ourselves. It's not what we are, we should know better. Kind of, if you all was together, if you all stand together, we could create a paradise, which we are back to the poem again, where there was only love, because in the end that's what we search for. Even those which don't seem to be searching for it, they are searching for it somehow. Maybe it doesn't seem like it, but it's kind of been corrupted in some way, you know. You kind of force love upon someone. Love has to come from the heart, you know. So you really are the frequency which you radiate out from yourself. And I think the frequency sometimes maybe have been set by God, or you have created your own frequency by many incarnations on the soul journey. And there are things you like, there are things you want to do, experience. So I'm not expert on everything, but I kind of have my point of view out from what I've heard from others, and also what I feel inside. But of course there are a truth out there which resonates for all people, and that is what we have to find. And then of course we can't go around lie to each other and hate each other, because that will cause splitting and of timelines, and also separation and duality. So we need like love, oneness, and wisdom, hope. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. And of course I have now combined my spiritual journey with some natural videos of me fishing and tenting, you know, kind of coming down to the earth a little bit, you know, to see that you can combine these things. And I have learned a lot. From 2012, it's been a long journey, and we all create together. If we understood the power of our consciousness, we could really create a paradise here on earth where all have the things they need. But you know, but then we can't let money and our ego get in the way of creating that beautiful place. And it is a journey. It is a journey. It's creation, and there's a lot of people talking about this. I'm just one of them, and you can do it too, if you want. I started doing this a couple of years ago, and if you want to talk about the spiritual side, your journey, UFOs, ghosts, the spiritual world, you can do it. And I think it's magical times for humanity in front of us. So I'm just one of many, and the more which join the cause, you know, of love, then the more better the frequency will get, I think, in the end. Yes, I'm not going to babble any more about this, because I don't have much energy. I am also working on myself, and you know, my sickness takes a lot of energy. And I want to say, love yourself, love your family, do what makes you happy, and do not judge others, because that just reflects back on yourself again. There will always be people which are different than you, and maybe they just need your help or your sympathy, or your want to talk to you. Maybe that will help them. Well, of course there are also dicks out there, so you kind of have to be aware, you know, so you don't get jumped. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Much love to you. Have a nice day, and subscribe to my YouTube page, and I will do more videos of the nature. I will do more channelings. I will make a video about this poem, and there will be more coming. Yes. Have a nice day.